Hey Patreon, once again guys, thank you for your support. I want to break down a scheme that is a meta scheme. A lot of YouTubers use this formation. In particular, it's the trips tight end offset. But one particular player, a YouTuber that uses this formation, has been using it for multiple years. Basically, he's one of the few guys that I watch his videos and his channels and his stuff on a regular basis, and I figured I'd share some of these different these breakdowns for you to take a look at. So I want to talk about basically two different formations. I'm going to do the first chunk, which is going to be the trips tight end offset, and then I will take a look at the gun empty cowboy. Is a zero back formation, 5 wide, that he uses. And the YouTuber we're going to be talking about is Blackreign. Blackreign has been YouTubing for a few years now. I think he's over 30,000 subscribers, and he's run basically the same scheme for 3 years, and he still gets wins. He plays against people that know what he's doing, they can study his gameplay and study his tendencies, and majority, I would say probably 9 out of 10 times of a game he plays, he's going to win regardless. Now, I want to specify this breakdown of this scheme. He makes adjustments, so he doesn't just play his scheme and just play it and play his money plays out. He adjusts to what his opponent is doing. So what I'm going to show you too is his most popular setups, how he likes to attack his opponent, all that kind of stuff. But it's not saying that this is the end all be all. But he simplifies the scheme down to basically a handful of plays, and basically goes from there and uses and makes adjustments. Now let's just go ahead and take a look. We're going to choose new play for this trips tight end offset, and I want you to take a look at the audibles. We've got stick, inside zone, verticals, and play action crosser. This play right here, play action crossers, is his base money play, in particular for the red route, which is a crosser route. Now, I'm sure you guys played enough Madden over the years, you realize that the crossing routes are OP. That they put in like the zone drops that you go ahead and pick up the crossing routes at the sidelines and stuff like that. And there's ways to defend it, but why he uses this bigger play action crossers as his base play, where he probably calls us 30-40% of the time, it's because that crossing route, you have to manually guard that and make a lot of massive adjustments, and he just builds off that crossing route, which you give up big chunk yards to develop the entire scheme. So we're going to leave that in. Now, he doesn't like using stick. He does replace that out for this particular play, which is curl combo, which is something that when I watch his gameplay, I was like, hey, this is a really good play, and I threw it back into my scheme. It's something that used to be really good in years past, but it's still really good, and he has the ability to playmaker the plays up and actually pick up some pretty good chunk yards. Inside zone is a play he'll either keep or he'll swap out for some other running play. We'll come back to that. And then for verticals is the other play that he swaps out for, and the play he swaps that out for essentially is going to be level sail. And this is one of the better level sails, simply because you have the inside slot receiver that actually is going at that 10-yard depth, and you've got the two 5-yard in routes underneath it, which kind of bracket it. So it just makes it easier for the read. Now, out of the huddle, he doesn't use any other passing plays. So he's got a lot of other passing plays in his formation. He occasionally will jump into X under, but we're not going to show that in the breakdown. What I want to talk about is some of the plays that the running plays he uses. Typically, if he's expected it's going to be kind of run heavy, he's going to use read option. Read option is a good play to help take away a blocker, because if a person is trying to stop basically quarterback running, they freeze, allowing the running back to have one less person they have to be concerned about. So it's a play he'll call out of the huddle. He'll also call out a halfback counter as a play. But the play he usually uses the most is going to be the RPO buck alert bubble. But he shifts what he likes to go with as far as his plays. We're going to use the RPO buck alert bubble just because you've got those pulling guards, and sometimes you can get some pretty good blocking with it. Now, I'm going to use random plays, but we'll break down plays and other formations. And basically, if you're going to be running a double A gap, use the inside zone. Just try to find the seam and then run from there. With that running play. But if you have more of a stacked defense like this, you use this RPO buck and if you get some seal, you can go off. Typically, he likes to run in the inside, and I've noticed when I'm labbing this is the inside run is a little bit more effective with the runs, and sometimes you get some good blocking off of it. And then obviously with the RPO, I'm seeing man coverages right here, so I'm not going to necessarily go ahead, and I probably would have never ran that, but if I feel like I can get that bubble off to the left, I'm going to go ahead and throw it. That might be the case with this. Let's see. Okay, I forced that in there, but you know, that might give you an opportunity to pick some pretty good yards. So nice little spin move by Metcalf, and that's just a fluky play, a very lucky play here on my behalf to get a touchdown off of it. So let's go into the passing plays that we normally would call, and I'm going to go ahead and do a play action crosser. Okay, so play action crosser, he runs this probably about like 5 or 6 different ways. I want to just let you know that occasionally he'll put the running back in some type of a route, and he'll either do an in route or he'll do an out route, or vice versa. In route or out route is just a base route. And what he'll do is he'll try to look for that underneath just to keep his opponent honest, because what happens is they're going to be going ahead and chasing the routes over the top. So that's kind of the option route that he'll throw into it. Now let's talk about the first setup that he likes to run. First setup with play action crosser he likes to run is typically going to be this setup. You're going to have basically a hitch route with the inside wide receiver Lockett, and then the outside receiver Eskridge is going to be an out route. He'll block his running back, and then he'll either streak up his tight end or put him on a hitch route. What I've seen in the lab, especially in current gen, is the hitch route kind of gets in the way of the crossing route, so it's just better to clear it out. And what he does is he looks left first for his first initial read. So the crossing route is going to be something your opponent's going to have to defend the entire time. But with this particular read, what he does is he basically watches his little hitch route and sees if he gets the back of the defender, or that this defender floats out into a cloud assignment where he's going to the sideline. A lot of times this guy will be wide open for an easy completion. So if you do get man coverage, you want to go and pop that. You want to force your opponent to be aware of the underneath stuff, because you're going to have all these plays are going to be over the top that he's going to have to be concerned with. So we're going to go and block. This will be the setup right here. Basically, we got a hitch, you got an out, you got the crossing route, and we got a clear out with the tight end over the middle of the field. And right here, this is okay. So I had to get rid of the ball. See what happened where the defender actually got in the way with that. So that was not good. So that's why you want to have a fast quarterback to clear things out for you. So once again, look for the hitch. You got the crosser. Crosser is just complete money. This crossing route is one of the best crossing routes, stock crossing routes in the game, and it's just so difficult to stop. And like, he prefers, what I've seen, he likes to have the trip side on the long side of the field, and on the short side of the field you're going to have the tight end, the running back, and he just watches this guy right here. So with this first setup with play action crossers, we're going to look to this route. Look how this route was available. I could have checked it down because the defender floated away, and this pulls the cloud flat off. So you can see how this guy was like kind of in a squat route. He sits down there, he's going back in a deep third, and the cloud route comes out to this route. And a lot of times what's going to happen, especially if he's using somebody to follow this over, this little hitch route will be wide open. But what is so annoying about this play right here is that these guys just stop in the numbers and don't move any further, and I'm able to go and pick up, 20, a 30-yard gainer right there. So basically, 30-yard gainer to the sideline, and I can just go and rack that or whatever. And a lot of times what happens is sometimes if the guy uses it, you can actually go ahead and pass lead up and throw above it or below it. So it's something it's really good to have in your back pocket. So let's set this up once again. And if you want to, you can leave the play action. My preference is to shut it off. And you see, once again, if you get the guy's back, go ahead and take it. You might get a rack animation like this and pick up 10 yards or so. He rarely looks to the sideline with the out with this setup, but it's really about that crossing route and then basically the hitch. You could hit the sideline, but look at the crossing route. Gets right over the coverages, and if you can obviously keep your feet down, that's going to be a big completion right there, or you could potentially rack that. going to set this up. And we're going to try to protect against the pass. You know, you could hit the little quick out. The problem with it is that if you're on the far hash like that, the defender could break down if he's actually really close. So you want to be cognitive of that type of situation. So we're going to have to set up one more time, like so. And here's why, like a cover 3 type situation, if you got a guy that plays a lot of cloud coverages against you, this route will be money for you, and this is your first read. So you can see right here, this is a blitzing corner. So this edge defender actually comes out and plays a sideline, and he comes out to the sideline, leaving this area wide open. Now, his user is going to have to defend this crossing route. This crossing route is going to be getting across the field and getting past different types of coverages. So this is why you want to have this as your base play, just to keep your opponent honest and you pick up some easy yards. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the next setup, and it's really against cover 2. So I'm gonna probably jump into a cover 2 alignment to kind of show you how this works. But basically, what he likes to do with cover 2 is the following setup. He just streaks his dude up or fades him up, does a flat route with his outside defender, and he streaks up his tight end as the other one. Now, if we get a cover 2 alignment, what happens is you still got your crosser that you can get the ball off to, but sometimes what's going to happen is the passing lane on the left side could be a one-play touchdown. So let's go and see what was going on the back side over here, even though I had some edge pressure coming off. Streak right here, this guy falls up into coverages, so he was playing a deep quarter. And this probably was a cover 6 based on the way these guys are running right here with that. So let's just go and choose a new play. We're going to go into just cover 2 and just going to show you how this setup really blows up cover 2. So if you got a guy that's running a lot of cover 2 against you, you can jump into this play and get yourself a one-play touchdown. So let's just go ahead and jump into cover 2. I'm going to do, let's see here, random cover 2. So we got random cover 2. Have this set up. We're going to block and running back to give ourselves some more time. And once the guy gets past it, you want to go throw that ball. You can see how this guy just kind of sits there right on the sideline. So that even that was a bad pass, that was available for a big play. So let's just go ahead and see if we can get this thing, get this passing play off. We're going to watch the outside defender, see how he kind of lets it go down. He actually floats up, and we're going to go and check it down to that flat defender. We're going to wait for this flat defender to come down a little bit more. So let's go and watch. That sure might actually give it up. Here we go. So there's your one-play touchdown opportunity that you can get. All you have to do is you anticipate your opponent running a lot of cover 2. You can get him for a one-play touchdown by and basically force him in an area that he's not seeing a lot of action. So your initial read is you can see this guy's on the outside. You got your 2 high safety shells. These guys are all on the outside of the defender. We're going to watch this guy. If he lets him pass and comes down and plays it flat, we're going to pass lead out to the left and hopefully go ahead and get a nice little rack animation to go ahead and take this thing house. But you could see that if he pulled this defender down a little bit further down the line of scrimmage or whatever, that's a one-play touchdown. And he's gotten multiple off that setup. So he got it set up once more. And what's cool about the crosser generally gets past these coverages, so you can get yourself a big play too, unless he's doing his zone drops. He's doing his zone drops out 30 yards depth. So that's why it's important that you want to go ahead and use those plays like that. So here we go. Once again, off the sideline, you can catch that. You know, obviously you have the ball a little bit further off to the right. You're going to get a little bit more green to work with. But here's your cover 2 beater. And let's see if we can get that. Okay, so you see how the guy dropped off, and then I had an opportunity to do that. So if you got a guy that's running a lot of cover 2 against you, and the guys are carrying, you can just wait for the guys to carry. And then once this guy kind of floats down and just kind of forgets about him, you can get this guy down the sideline and get a big completion for some big yards. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at another adjustment that he does, and I'm gonna get back into random defenses. So we're gonna choose a play, back to the play action crosser, and we're gonna go ahead and just do random nickel defenses. So another setup that he does is the following. He'll basically go ahead and take the inside receiver, especially if he's expecting some pressure or whatever, and he's going to go ahead and motion this guy over and slide him over and quick snap the motion slant underneath. And that just gives you a fast little check down off to the left. So he wants to basically have that slant route to just kind of keep your opponent guessing. So we're going to motion this guy over. And what happens is a lot of times you're going to have people going to go ahead and maybe chase this route, and you're going to have that mesh concept with the slant on the backside. So let's just see if we take a peek. There was a blitz because this is a random play, but we're going to watch this guy. I can throw him early right here if I wanted to, especially if the user's not in the area, or I can actually expect this guy off the side. Now I want to point out another thing too. Look at this route right here. A lot of times if there's just single man coverage, you might be able to throw this skinny post because it gets past the coverages. But that's another option that you can do with this your play, is you can go ahead and do this following adjustment. We could do a deep dig route, motion this guy over, and this is going to give you an inside route underneath that you can throw against your opponent to catch him off guard. So let's say, for instance, he is basically chasing the crosser, or he puts a double team on it, and then he goes back to the guy underneath. You can go ahead and set up, another route on the back side of it that gives you a pass release. So I can check this really quick. I can look for this crosser right here. Maybe he's going to double team this, and this is going to have over the top coverage. Well, now you can go ahead and have an underneath route at 10 yards depth that you can hit that's going to be above that crosser. So a more common adjustment that I saw with his gameplay is he does a drag, or he'll do an in route with this setup. It's just so he's got just a faster read, especially if a guy is playing that crosser over the top. And that just gives him another check down that he can throw to. So bad pass right there, was under pressure. Motion this guy over. And here you go. So you basically got your check down off to the right. The crosser at the very top was available, but you could see how if he comes down and plays that underneath stuff, you've got yourself a setup where you can keep popping your opponent. Let's see if we can get the slant on the backside. I don't know if we're going to be able to hold our blocks, but you can see how that backside slant. And here's another thing he does too. That's a bad pass. I hit the wrong button. You can go ahead and basically take your guy. If he locks it up, if he locks up these adjustments, you take your guy and you just go ahead and playmaker him up, and you can get yourself a big play that way too. So let's see if we can get the crosser on the backside. Let's see if it's available. No, but this route, which is everything. It's everything in this entire scheme, is that deep crossing route. So you got your opponent is going to have to defend that. If he goes underneath, he's going to get toasted. So let's go ahead and take a look at another common adjustment. It's basically using a flat concept off to the left, in, and just a streak to clear out the zone. So this is another common adjustment. You're going to have that in route that you can check down to, but you've got this crosser over the top that you can hit, and you're clearing out with the deep in route off the side, so off the basically with the deep route with the tight end. So here's your setup, like so, and you just come back to that route right there, the little dig route, underneath route, if your opponent is not paying attention. So once again, we're going to set this up. Nobody's paying attention, going back to the same area. So if you keep rolling off to the right, you can keep forcing him to go ahead and come back to the other side. Another adjustment, this is not as common as he normally would do, He'll do this setup. He'll do a deep in. He'll streak out the clear over the top of the coverage. Do the following adjustment. He'll do basically another streak, and then he'll do the following adjustment. So he'll either take the running back and put an in route or an out route. Now, this is if a guy's blitzing a lot, you're probably not going to do these type of adjustments, but this gives you just another way to attack your opponent underneath with the running back. So if you got you guys running a lot of coverages, this is where you're going to jump into this particular play. But really what it comes down to with this setup, it's all about using that crossing route to just harass and get the big yardage on top of it. So the crossing route is huge. You want to have your best wide receiver in that inside, very inside spot. He's going to be the money spot. All right, so let's take a look at the next play. All right, so the next play we're going to take a look at is going to be curl combo. This is a play that basically is a quick snap play, and you run it stock. You don't make any kind of adjustments. Most of the reads are going to be to the far side, which is going to be basically a flat curl combo, and then also the inside receiver. And all you're really going to do is you're going to look to the flat curl combo and try to complete it, especially if it's a cover 3 shell or if he's got a guy that's going over the top against you. So you want to hit that. And really what you're looking at is just this concept over here. You're looking at the flat curl concept, and you're watching the defender over the top. If a guy comes down from the safety position, comes down to the flat, typically what's going to happen, you're going to have a deep third over here, and you can actually complete this for some pretty big yards and rack it and pick up some few yards. But if there's 2 defenders in this area playing this over the top guy, usually what's going to happen is this is going to be wide open for an easy completion, flat, and you just turn it into a 5-yard gainer. Your last read is going to be this guy over here, and you're going to see if the defender's on him. If there's a defender on him, you're going to playmaker up the stick and push this guy up on the middle of the field. And a lot of times there's not going to be anybody over the top, and you're going to be able to throw a 20-yard completion. So that's something you're going to have to get in the lab and get familiar with. But really what it comes down to is you want to try to go ahead and low ball this particular pass and try to get out there. Arm strength is extremely important with this. I've been labbing with this farthest of this route combination, and sometimes I got some acrobat interceptions over the top, so you want to try to make that decision pretty easy. Another thing you can do is you can pull the defender out. Okay, here you go. Here's the playmaker. So I had a block shed right there, but you can see the playmaker with the guy in the middle of the field. Let's see if we can do this again. Nope, not getting the time. So let's go ahead and see if we can do it again. I'm not a playmaker master. So I'm probably a terrible person about it. For some particular reason, playmaker doesn't work for me, and it's just something I never really have had in my scheme. So you'll have to, if you understand playmaker and how it works, then you probably want to go and leave it in. See how the guy floats up? This is where you want to go and try to hit the low guy. So you really, it's just a couple of adjustments that you're looking at. So you're going to watch this guy right here, and if the defender floats up into the passing lane, just check it down to the sideline guy and just go ahead and try to turn it up for some yards. Now, you do have the stuff off to the left side too. It just doesn't seem to be something that he looks to. He looks pretty much off to the left side. I mean the right side with the running back route and the tight end route. So that might be something you might want to go ahead and throw into your scheme a little bit too. But this route here, it's a very good route. So that was the play act. That was the animation that I've been throwing into against King. Is that he's just making some acrobatic routes. So you just want to try to go ahead and low ball that pass and hopefully just sprint out a little bit for this. But this is another one of those routes where if an opponent is playing drop zones over the top, 20 yards, he's doing everything over the top to prevent that crosser. This is where this particular play can become very annoying. And then you can obviously go and throw that pass really fast, or you can throw it late. Another thing you could do, and this is just me ad-libbing, is I'll put a streak over the middle of the field, and it provides me just another area that I can attack my opponent. So let's go and see if I can get the defense that I would want. So right here you can see that is available for me for a quick shot, and then I would check it down to the flat concept. curl flat concept off the left. So let's just go and see right here. We can throw that, and then we've got basically the curl flat concept. So that's the way how I would adjust it and run it a little bit, because I just the hitch sitting there and playmakering doesn't work as effectively for me. So let's go and jump into level sale. So the last play that he uses in this scheme is basically going to be level sail, and he runs it pretty much stock. For the most part, he's going to be looking off to the right with the running back, sail concept. That's going to be one of the first areas he's going to look to. So he's going to look low to the running back, hit that running back if it's available to you, and then look for the levels concept on the back side. So one of the things that he typically looks to is that back route, that far back route, to get cleared out by everything else. So that's one thing. Obviously you've got basically the inside guy that you can look to, but most people are going to start manning up that inside guy just to get another defender over the top of him. So you probably can expect that. You've also got basically the deep inside route that you can hit against your opponent and catch him off guard. So level sail, very easy concept to run. One of the things he might do is go ahead and streak up his receiver. Most likely he's going to streak up the inside receiver, lock it over the top, primarily because he's probably not going to be covered by a man coverage, even though in that type of situation it was. Or he'll streak up basically the crossing route over the middle with just a streak route here too, and you can catch your opponent off guard in the middle of the field if he's not paying attention. You might get a one-play touchdown too if you streak up the guy. So let's just go ahead and see if we can hit it. I'm going to streak this guy up. It looks like he's going to have man coverage over the top. Yep. So basically what you do is make an adjustment from there. So that play was pretty much locked up. I was looking for the streak route and not making other progressions. So let's go ahead and streak up Metcalf. Let's see if we get him carried. And that's Russell Wilson's arm that you can get away with stuff like that. You streak up the outside guy on the red zone. You might just get just kind of a better concept with that route, and he's not going to get the matching principles. So a lot of people are going to man up that crossing route. They want to make sure that they have someone over the top of that crossing route. So that's going to be kind of frustrating. But let's see if we can get this. Okay, so this guy matched up perfectly against him, but you can get yourself a jump ball with it over the top. So that's just another play that he uses in the scheme. Mostly runs it stock. You know what I mean? Just run the play stock. Levels is just a great play out of this trip tight end offense. So let's go ahead and take a look at the gun cowboy, empty cowboy, and go from there. All right, so guys, we're going to go and take a look at the next formation, which is going to be basically the gun empty cowboy or the empty hawk. I guess it really depends on the view that you're on. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this. Here are your standard audibles. You've got basically stick, curl flats, verticals, and then inside cross. Verticals, inside cross are two plays he leaves into the scheme, but he's going to pop out basically stick. And typically what he does with stick is he uses this particular play, which is going to be, if I can find it, the inside wheels. And then curl flat, he swaps that out for this play, which is going to be the Hawks slot post. Okay? Out of the huddle, I really don't remember exactly what he would do out of the huddle, so I would just probably pick some type of play like stick or something like that, or basically the shake and go. And then we're going to run this against random defenses. Now, here's your first play. Inside wheel. He streaks up his inside slot receiver, which is the tight end, and then he's going to make that as his first read. But the route that's real money is this route right here. So let's just go and take a look at it. It's really only two reads from what I've seen when I've watched his gameplay. He looks to this seam route right away because that's going to be something that he's going to try to pop. So if you feel like it's clear, you want to throw that immediately. But the combination of this switch concept over here with the spacing, switch comes out, that guy clears out a zone, and a lot of times what happens is this dig route will be open for a big completion. So you'll see a lot of situations where he's got like a 1st and 10, 1st and 15 situation. He'll jump into this play really quick and he'll throw this dig route. This is his primary read with the route is where he wants to go to. So streak this guy up. And if you get the passing lane, take it. If you can get 15 yards on a fast, quick snap play, you always want to throw that. So let's just go back to it again. Right here, routes, watch the dig. Dig is usually going to get nice little play animations. Even though that got manned up and the guy got carried, it's because of this route combination with the dig that is the type of situation you want to do that. So you can see right here, the spy fell down to it. I threw into that route. So I didn't read that correctly. But let's go and see. Seam is not available. I'm going to hit the dig. And a lot of times that's going to be available for 15 yards, 10, 15 yards or so. So you want to be conscious of those other route combinations. So let's just go and see the streak. No. And your spy is going to be that middle yellow zone that's going to fall 10 yards in depth. That's going to cause you problems with that. So you just throw it a little bit early. No. So basically got taken away from me. But he did have the seam off the left with that. So this is a play that I see him jump into, and I'm usually what happens, I think, is just that he has so many people that are like playing different types of over-the-top coverages and zone drops that the middle zone is just not something area they're going to go to. You can see how this guy bit in, and I probably could have thrown this sideline and get a completion because it had the defender flip this back. So that's something you could probably look to. Run that. And you've got basically that crosser over the middle that you can hit against your opponent. Let's set this up. And go ahead and get the nice little completion over the middle of the field. So even if you didn't hold on to the ball, we're going to move on to the next play. Here's your next play. It's going to be basically the Hawks slot post. Streaks up once again that inside guy. That's your first read. If you get a passing lane, take it. Because it's going to build everything off for you. So that's going to build your offense for you on how you're going to attack your opponent. So just go ahead and jump into this. Streak this guy down. Streak. Now you've got another thing too. You've got your high-low with your smash concept off to the right. And let's take a peek in instant replay at the skinny post here. This route usually gets really crazy separation. So you can see how this guy is nowhere in the area. I can go and hit this for a big completion. So that's an area that you want to look to. You can catch your opponent off guard too. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. We're going to streak this guy up. Streak him up. And see how you get separation. You can get yourself some pretty good yards against any kind of man coverages because that skinny post over the middle just catches your opponent off guard. Let's see if we get the corner out. All right, no, we can't get the corner out. I'm waiting for. I'm not reading the field correctly because I'm trying to see if I can get other routes to develop. All right, so we get the streak concept, post, check it down. And what you really want to do too is a lot of times what happens with this particular play, which essentially is the hawk spot post, is this route right here. You got your smash concept. You're going to watch this and watch to see if the corner is available. That's another area where the guy's just going to sit there, and you can get yourself a nice 15-yard completion in the corner, not including the streak, and you've got the skinny post that potentially will get over the top of a lot of coverages too. And you've also got basically the inside route, as a check down if he floats over the top. So you've got another way that you can pick up an easy 10 yards with the hawk spot post. So if he is playing a sideline, you just hit that streak route. Now verticals he uses down in the red zone, and he just basically streaks up his left side wide receiver locket, and usually looks to the inside wide receiver over the middle. So that's another area that you can use, but because you're going to be going back to that streak so much, I probably wouldn't use it down here. Inside zone is a play that he likes to throw into the scheme, and what's good about it is that you've got your number 4 wide receiver Hart that's doing a deep in route. Really what he looks to is the mesh, and just tries to find the player or the route that basically didn't get picked up on the mesh, or it gets hit by the bump. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. One thing I did not see him doing is paying attention to the deep comeback route on the far side of the field. So that will be available for a big completion based on what your opponent is looking to. And then you've got the deep dig. All right, so really it's about developing the mesh concept on the inside, underneath, and not even looking for the stuff over the top. So that's why he throws this particular play, keeps it in the scheme, is just to go ahead and just keep attacking your opponent in the flats, forcing them to come down and chase that underneath stuff. So it's just a mind game, and just taking what your opponent's going to give to you. Let's see if we can hit the deep comeback route on the backside here. No, we can't. And that was just a bad play. I just threw that ball. I was waiting for the deep route to develop, and you always, make your progressions underneath and then over the top from there. So here you go. You got your deep comeback route, which is something he never looks to, but it's something I like throwing into my scheme, especially if I see a lot of man matching principles. The bench concept over the top, he doesn't really look to that at all for this particular play. So it's basically a lot of the underneath stuff against him. So these are basically the two different formations he primarily used to go up and down the field, big play touchdowns and all that kind of stuff. Gun trips, tight end offset, gun empty cowboy hawk, whatever it is in the CPU that you're seeing. So once again, guys, thank you for your support, and until next time.